All right. Hello, everybody. Once again, as is tradition, we're just going to double check that we are indeed live, as they say. Looks like we're good. All right. Yeah. We're Gucci. We're Gucci. I'm just going to have a little chat over here to the left-hand side. So, hello guys, how are you getting on? My name is Aaron Kelly, and welcome back to Dead Trim. Fuck me. Welcome back to another episode of the Premier League Verdict. Hope you guys are all well. We didn't actually have one following the last match week of the Premier League. Main reason for that being I just didn't have time. I was absolutely flat out. And yeah, just missed out on it really. But we're back. We're back. We're live. We're alive and kicking. So that's always the main thing. So if you are in the chat and you're go on to enjoy the stream, don't forget to, as always, as a small little pushki actually enters. Hang on. He's actually just entered the room, so we can't not. There he is. Fucking hell. Attaboy, pushki. Senan, what's the crack, Senan? How are you getting on, bud? Yes, welcome back to another episode of the Premier League Verdict. Hope you guys are all well. We've got match week 6. This is obviously episode 5 because, like I said, we missed out last time out. So, I think we'll just get straight into it, shall we? As always, we have our lovely boxes in front of you here with your green, yellow, and red. Green, more often than not, we've got a performance of the week or a brilliant moment of the week. Yellow, shocking, wow, all that kind of crack. And, of course, we have got our red for our stinker of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Could easily be Chelsea this week. Is it going to be Chelsea again? Possibly. Wait and see. So, we're going to kick things off with our green box. And it's a bit of a rare one. Everton get the green box this week. They're a team and a club that have come into a lot of criticism this season from me and from lots of others for just being so hopelessly bad, to a point where a lot of people genuinely do believe that this could be the year that Everton go down. And particularly the way they've started the season, it could be very easy to allow the heads to drop the way they have started this season. They've been so poor in pretty much every area, incredibly leaky defensively, poor in possession, and absolutely toothless going forward. But Sean Dyche, to his credit, made a tactical switch up at the weekend in their game against Brentford, which I believe rustled the feathers, first of all, of Thomas Frank, and second of all, managed to get them the goals they needed and the win that they needed to get all 3 points. A massive victory it was for Everton. A 3-1 win at the Brentford Community Stadium. And funnily enough, there was people talking about Thomas Frank was actually on Monday Night Football a couple of weeks ago talking about his tactics and the way he wants to play football and all that kind of stuff. And people genuinely believe, and honestly, they might have a case that this is the reason why Brentford have kind of had a little bit of a drop-off in the last couple of weeks. Could genuinely be the fact that Thomas Frank has gone on to national television and talked about, his tactics. And you just know other managers, in particular Sean Dyche, would have been watching that with eager eyes, especially knowing that they're playing Brentford in a couple of weeks' time. But what is he doing? Yes, the big change I seen. Abdoulaye Doucouré, right, playing a bit more of an advanced role for Everton, gets the opening goal for them. A brilliant strike it was. He actually scored, had a brilliant effort then a couple of moments later off the joint of post and bar. And he got the opening goal after just 6 minutes, and it was a lovely finish from him. And Everton really, for the rest of that first half, completely dominated. And you never really thought Brentford were going to get back into it. They couldn't get a foothold on the ball. Whenever they did get in possession, they were quite wasteful with it. Everton just looked like they were well up for it, a lot more than Brentford. But Brentford, completely against the run of play, do get the equaliser through Matthias Jensen. It was actually a really, really good finish. Drilled low into the far bottom corner to make it 1-1, and 1-1 is how it was at half-time. And like I say, completely against the run of play. And you certainly, if you were watching the game, you'd look at the balance of it and go, how are Everton not winning this? And it's same old Everton. Particularly Brentford at home, you would have thought when they got that goal, they could kick on and potentially win the game at that point. But they did not. And it was actually Everton, in fact, who kicked on in the game. And it was James Tarkowski who made it 2-1 with about 20-25 minutes to go. Fantastic header from a corner. I believe Tarkowski actually used to play for Brentford. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. But I think I heard someone say something like that. And he left under like relatively controversial circumstances. But really good header. Typical Everton and Sean Dyche to get the ball into the box. Lovely little glanced header down from James Tarkowski. And, a big goal to give Everton the lead. Dominic Calvert-Lewin then, a striker who has been just crying out for fucking a goal of some description in recent times, gets Everton... excuse me? What are you doing on my desk? Can you see him? Oh my god, Pushki! Oh my god, you're gonna knock my switch, Pushki. Let me just. No, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing, Pushki? So yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, brilliant finish from him. Again, a striker that has been really struggling for goal. He's had a lot of injuries over the last couple of years and has very rarely managed to get himself like a consistent run of form. But he got Everton's third, the insurance goal, and it was no more than they deserved, really. They were by far the better side. Pushka, are you going to get down off me or are you not? No? Okay, he's gone. He's not fancied it. He's gone. Do you know what? This episode is shite, lads. So yeah, 3-1, how it finished, and a brilliant result for Everton, and maybe potentially a chance for them to kick off with that little bit of confidence that they would have gotten from that game against the Brentford side, who, like I say, are a very good side and have impressed a lot of people, including myself, since their arrival in the Premier League. We're going to move on. Typically what we would usually do is we'd move on to our yellow box and then our red, but I think the main talking point of this video is going to be in our yellow box. So we're going to move on to our red. Our stinker of the week. Is it going to be Chelsea? No. As bad as Chelsea were, and I probably will end this video by talking a little bit about Chelsea, because it's hard for me not to, being a Chelsea fan, but you cannot, in a Premier League game, concede 8 goals and expect to not get into the Aaron Kelly verdict stinker box. It's just how it works, lads. Sheffield United, and I was going to say this about Everton as well. Obviously, like the big threat, I suppose, kind of looming over Everton is a potential relegation. They've come close a couple of times, and even look at the way they've started this season, a lot of people have touted them, like I say, for finally getting relegated. However, obviously, they can turn that around off their own bat by their own performances and the way they kind of improve over the next couple of weeks. But I do think a big thing that is keeping Everton in the Premier League, and, arguably keeping fucking Chelsea in the Premier League at this point, is how bad the promoted teams are. Like, again, Luton only just managed to pick up their first point of the season. What is that cat doing, man? Hang on. Okay. He's climbing all over the gaff, man. What is he doing? Anyway, Luton obviously pick up their first point of the season. 1-1 draw with Wolves the weekend. Burnley still winless as well. And I seen someone tweet out during the matches over the weekend. This could genuinely be one of the first times, if not the first time. I'm not sure what the historic stats are over it, but the first time, or one of the first times, that a team survives in the Premier League with like 30 points. Genuinely. Because the 3 promoted sides that have come up are currently occupying the 3 relegation spots, and I genuinely believe that could be where they end up at the end of the season. Genuine. Like, that is how fucking poor they all are. And very much, I guess, signified by Sheffield United's result the weekend at an 8-0 at home, hammering at the hands of Newcastle United. Now, what was quite unique about this one is there was actually 8 different scorers, something which I don't know if that's ever happened before. Like, obviously, I remember Chelsea beating Aston Villa 8-0 back in 2012-13, and I thought up until a couple of days ago that maybe there was 8 different scorers on that. But no, 8 different scorers. So Sean Longstaff, Dan Byrne, Botman, Wilson, Gordon, Almiron, Guimaraes, and Alexander Isak. 8 different goal scorers for Newcastle United. It was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-0 after an hour, lads. It was 5-0 after an hour. And for Sheffield United now, they really have got a job on to try and boost the confidence, I guess, and try and get back on track, because that is a result, in fairness, that could potentially damage their season beyond repair. Genuinely, especially when it's a promoted team like that. You've just come up into the league, and don't get me wrong, Sheffield United did a brilliant job to get back into the Premier League and fully deserved it last season, but they look way off it. Now, in fairness, I will give them credit in the other games that they've lost. At least they've looked like competing. They were so far off Newcastle. Now, Newcastle, don't get me wrong, obviously Champions League side, they're going to be dominant in most areas of the pitch, but I don't know, lads. I just feel like they were so far off. To concede 8 is just like, it's beyond acceptable, really. They got West Ham next, Fulham, Man United after that, Arsenal. You see, you look at them and you think, how many fucking points are they going to pick up, man? And like I say, especially being off the back of this, it's not good. It's very, very bad, actually. So there's Sheffield United. That is my prediction for the relegation, honestly. Unless Chelsea keep going the way they're going. But anyway, we'll finish off with our yellow box. And a football match that kind of restored my faith in this league. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those. A great game of football. And I always say this, the North London derby reigns supreme. In comparison to all other derbies in the Premier League, the North London derby, different gravy, man. Different fucking gravy. It very rarely doesn't deliver. Very, very rarely. And once again, Arsenal and Tottenham battle out an epic, epic encounter at the Emirates, which results in a 2-2 draw. And Spurs doing things that, in particular, I don't expect to see from Spurs, which is a very well organised side, but a side that never, ever, ever gives up. And that is something, like I say, we haven't been able to say about Tottenham for quite a while. And I said this on The Verdict a couple of times, I've been singing the praises of Big Ange Postecoglou. He's got Tottenham playing. And they look dangerous, man. They look dangerous. What they've done... Let's compare it to Chelsea, alright? Because we always compare it to Chelsea, don't we? They have showed Chelsea how to bleed youth into the team and how to play with young players. And that stems from the top of the club to the bottom to Postecoglou absolutely guiding this team and making them into a proper threat. Something which I haven't really been able to say about Tottenham for a couple of years. Lads, if you've been a long time kind of follower or subscriber of the channel, you'll know I always take the piss out of Tottenham. I always laugh at Tottenham. I always say, listen, it's Tottenham. They're never really going to do anything. And I never feel like, even now, that Tottenham are going to win something this season. But Tottenham now, once again, have a side that the fans can be proud of, honestly. And they really, really put it up to a very good Arsenal side. They really put it up to them. And it could have been very easy once they fall behind, particularly the nature of the own goal from Romero. Could have been very easily, the heads could have easily dropped for Tottenham. But no, they respond brilliantly. James Maddison, who very nearly conceded a goal a couple of minutes earlier. If Gabriel Jesus could fucking keep his head, he probably would have conceded there, James Maddison. But he does a brilliant little drop of the shoulder just to evade the challenge of Bukayo Saka, who copied his little dart celebration, which was kind of cold, but the goal didn't go to Saka in the end, so not really that cold in the end. But he did it again once he made Arsenal go 2-1 up. But back to the equaliser. Really good drop of the shoulder. James Maddison, by the way, balling out. I always did wonder what Maddison would be like in a very, very, like, quote-unquote big team or a big club. He's been given the freedom of the pitch with Tottenham, and he is flourishing as a footballer. And I have to say, despite him being a Tottenham player, it is brilliant to see James Maddison finally being recognised for the quality player that he is. But a little drop to shoulder, evades Saka, left-footed shot, or left-footed cross towards the front post. Son Heung-min across the front post, little run, and a little flick of the left foot into the far bottom corner past David Raya. And that made it 1-1 at half-time. And then Arsenal got a penalty. Dubious enough penalty. Like, obviously, you look at the rule book and, you know, Romero's hand is in an awkward position. Does it have to be up that high? I don't really know. Like, it's harsh because that is the rule, isn't it? The rule is if his hand is in an unnatural position, then it impedes the, you know, path of the ball going towards the goal, then yes, that is a penalty. But from the human aspect of it, and when you've played the game any more than once, you know what do I do with my arm in that position? If you're Christian Romero, like what do you want me to do? You know what I mean? But by the letter of the law, I guess it was a penalty, and calmly dispatched by Bukayo Saka to make it 2-1 to Arsenal. And once again, I really did think Arsenal could kick on, and I thought the Tottenham heads would drop. But in fairness, they didn't. And they got themselves right back into it again with another... I mean, it's Jorginho's mistake this time, isn't it? And that was the big call made by Mikel Arteta at half-time. I think Declan Rice had an injury. He brought off Rice and Fabio Vieira and replaced them with Jorginho and Havertz. Just needed a little bit of Chelsea mediocrity in there just to try and see the match through. So Jorginho loses the ball and he's dispossessed, and it's played through by Maddison. Maddison, in fairness, could have easily lost the head and made the wrong decision in that scenario. He didn't. He plays it through, and it's calmly dispatched by Son Heung-min for his second of the game. Tottenham's second, the equaliser, and 2-2 was how it finished. A brilliant game of football. Honestly, a fantastic game of football between two clubs that I strongly dislike, being a Chelsea fan. But they were brilliant. They really did put on a show, didn't they? They really put on a show. And a great advertisement for the Premier League. I don't think either of them or Liverpool are going to be anywhere near City come the end of the season, but you know, the Premier League is still capable of putting on brilliant matches, and that was one of them. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was also keeping half an eye on the Chelsea game, which I'll end the video now by talking briefly about because I don't want to fucking ruin my day. But Chelsea lost again. Thanks for watching, everyone. Yeah, Chelsea lost again. 1-0 at the hands of Aston Villa. Do you know what I did during the week? My FPL team, I made some changes, lads. I actually actively nearly betted against my team, which is kind of making me... I'm not a betting man, but maybe I should start betting against Chelsea because, like, free money. Free money at the end of the day. I actually put in Matty Cash and Ollie Watkins into my FPL team. And what happened? Ollie Watkins got a goal. Matty Cash got a clean sheet. Like, it's just like... That's a bit of a hack for FPL players this season. You know, if you want free points, from whether goals or assists, just get an attacker and a defender who are playing against Chelsea this week. Free points. You know, I don't see a problem with it. Yeah. Not even, like, by far not even the worst Chelsea performance this season either, which is kind of fucking concerning as well. But obviously the game kind of turns on its head. Malo Gusto's red card. I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans giving out about it. It is potentially harsh because he does get the ball, but he's endangering an opponent with the follow through, which again, by the letter of the law, unfortunately means as soon as you start endangering an opponent, got to go, blood. Got to go. And I did think it was harsh at the time, but fucking hell, it is what it is, isn't it? And then it was only at that point that Villa really started coming into their shell, or coming out of their shell rather, a bit more. And Ollie Watkins gets that goal. I thought Colwell actually did really well initially, but yeah, Bad, bad, bad. Pochettino's not the problem here. He does make questionable decisions. I get that. But it's just the way the club's being run at the minute, man. It's just the way the club's being run. Like, it's just... You can probably tell I've got very little anger left in me. Because, like, I'm not afraid to call Chelsea out when they're playing shit and being really, really angry about it. But, like, it's expected at this point. Like, it just is expected at this point. And it's fucking sad. Because, like, that's... But it's just the way Chelsea have gone. It's the way the club's being run from top to bottom, man. It's just like, it's toxic. And mediocrity and a lack of knowledge in the transfer market is what's cost us. Like, you know, oh, Chelsea spent loads of money. Yeah, I understand that. And, you know, for some clubs, they can't do that. But it's all well and good spending lots of money. If you're not spending it in the right area, nobody really gives a bollocks. And it's just shit. And Chelsea have done that, like spending money on all this youth experiment. It's not worked, man. It's not worked. It's been an absolute shambles, really, and I don't see it changing. You remember a couple of streams ago, I talked about this run of games that Chelsea are currently in the middle of, the, you know, Forests, the Villas. We've got Fulham next week. We've got Burnley the week after. I did say we need to pick up 4 wins from them. We've lost 2 of them now. So why would I think we're going to pick up 2 wins in the final 2 of those games? Like, I just don't. It's not going to happen. And then the shit starts. And then the shit starts at the end. Following that, we got obviously the big run between the end of October and the start of December, which I keep talking about. That feels like D-Day. That feels like D-Day. If Pochettino survives that, and I'm not saying sacking Pochettino is the right thing to do. I think actually the opposite. I do think he needs the time. He needs the fucking time. I'm done with this hiring and firing fucking managers. But I'll be shocked if Pochettino makes it past that fucking run of games that they've got. You know, between the end of October and the start of December. But anyway, depressing times. Depressing times. So we're going to drop, if we're going to leave it there, lads. Drop a like on the stream if you did enjoy it. And obviously, if you're watching this in the future as a video rather than a stream, do drop a like as well. And subscribe if you are new around here, lads. And yeah, thank you for watching. And we'll see you very soon for the next one. We actually got football, not a football video. Crinkle Bottoms Crusaders going out tonight. So keep an eye out for that. Alright? Take care and peace.